I needed some rocky music. Dun, dun, dun. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Y'all know what this is, man.
Knicks Rehab. Knicks Rehab. Knicks Rehab.
I like that. I like that. You might hear some wind in the background because somebody is gone with the wind, but he ain't too far. AllBall load managing. Big pause. Flea on a minutes restriction. We live.
Big Flea. Light minutes restriction. You know. Light minutes restriction. I like how you put that. Minutes restriction. You ain't put no load management smut on my name. I appreciate you, my brother.
No, the commenters have gotten you for that. Rightfully so.
They've been smoking me for that. King Speech.
The one and only. The regal.
One and only.
The regal talk. Huh? Y'all ain't ready for that, man. How am I gonna do that? I don't know who I be, man.
Nah. King Speech. My man is Mikal Bridges. 500 in a row. 500 in a row. Let's start there, man. Holding Jalen Suggs to 4 for 19 shooting. Talk to me nicely, Fabian.
Knicks Rehab.
Yeah. Let's start there.
Fleet giving us some I told you so, which
I didn't say a word.
Yeah, okay. Your tone says it all. Mikal Bridges is on the same. We said we got Professor X powers out here. He said Mikal Bridges, he was typing it as soon as you said it. I threw the Knicks Rehab glasses on. Soon they will be up for purchase. That's what we do. Come on, man. Big win.
King Speech part of the family, man. Only family members do that.
Exactly. They tap
you know
in, tune in. What we say they would tap into the ancestors.
Right. A family member could cuss you out, could tell you wrong, agree with you when you wrong. King Speech does it all.
Well, some haters do that too, but they like to watch from a distance. They only pop up for like certain things. Like when people come out of nowhere, it's hilarious. He didn't miss a game even after J.R. Reed put his teeth out in a Knicks uniform.
Ew, a J.R. Reed mention. Lord have mercy. Ain't heard J.R. Reed's name in forever. You
think if J.R. Reed knocks out Mikal Bridges' tooth, he just gonna pick it up and stay in the game?
Nah, he flexed on what you call it last night. Who was that? Suggs, Cole Anthony. He was going up for an and one. They tried to grab his arm. Mikal finished. Then he did the flex, did a little light flex. Like, you know, I be in the gym. I lift. I said, okay, Mikal, talk to me.
You thought that was ill King Speech? I'm not trying to slander him. Actually, I will slander him. I'm going to warn you now.
You've been doing that since game one. But go ahead.
When I slander OG and his bum ass looking offensive game, so don't even start. See, y'all got favorites and you can't criticize your mans. I treat them like family. The fuck was that, OG? Excuse my language. The hell am I doing so early in the live talking like this? My man picked his teeth up and still played. That was tough.
So I got a question for King Speech before we get going.
Sure.
If AC Green was promiscuous, if AC Green was fornicating, would he have missed any games? Talk to me, King Speech. Let's really have a conversation now. Let's really talk.
La Turia in the building. And if you ain't know, I say a name like I say her name like that because it sounds like a salsa name. La Turia. Actually, Perico Hipiao. I don't think La Turia is Dominican though. Walking into OG slander is crazy. La Turia, everyone knows I'm an OG stan.
King
So
said he would have missed a few.
A few. He would have been talk about load management.
Drop it. That's right where you drop it. Drop it. Start the show.
I did drop it.
Oh, you
I don't mind doing it again.
Knicks
Oh, you
Rehab.
dropped it?
I did it again because you
I
said
thought-
so.
No, I thought you did. You didn't drop the East
The Knicks
Street
Rehab.
thing.
I did that already early.
Oh, I was late. I'm sorry, guys.
What else is new? But then again, Will played every minute of a season, but getting all the buns he got. A different level of athlete, man. No, I'm not Dominican. I grew up in the South Bronx, so I'm so close. So I'm close enough. Oh yeah, we did have this conversation because I said if you grew up in the Bronx, you basically Dominican or Puerto Rican because y'all know y'all pick up a bunch of words. You cannot talk crap around a Dominican a Bronx native who is not of Latino heritage because they will know what you're talking about. That is a fact. Those are just the facts. Anyway, Big Knicks slugfest with the Orlando Magic as they eke out a victory. Jalen Suggs proved to be exactly who I thought he was, and I told y'all he was. I said OG gets away with a lot. Oh no, Jalen Suggs gets away with, how you say that? Grade 3 homicide or capital murder.
He was beating the shit out of Jalen Brunson yesterday.
It was bad. He fouled out.
Lenzel, you just missed the J.R. Reed mention. I ain't heard J.R. Reed's name in a while. I know you got a little love for J.R. Reed coming out of that university down in North Carolina.
I'm just hoping we don't speak about J.R. Reed for years after this.
Ever again.
The Knicks beat the Orlando Magic 100-91 in a slug festo. Jalen Suggs was harassing Brunson all day. He probably should have gotten fouled out in the first half. Did not. Jalen Brunson ends up with 31 points, 8 of 18 shooting. That was pretty decent with 4 of 8 from 3. Miles McBride was the only one with above average 3-point shooting with 2 of 2. Brunson was 4 of 8. But Big Cat, 22 points, 22 rebounds, 12 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds for Josh Hart. More on him later. OG Anunoby, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 assist. He shot decent, 3 of 8. The Knicks were 10 of 24 from 3, so that was above average. So they did shoot decently, but that was Brunson and McBride who put them over the top, especially Brunson. The Orlando Magic, if it wasn't for Mo Wagner's historical night for himself with 32 points, this wouldn't even been a close game. 32 points for Mo Wagner. I had him for 19 points and rebounds and assists. More on that later. You know, we could get that at DraftKings, baby. Promo code ABTV. 32, 6, and 6 for Mo Wagner. 20 points for Tristan Da Silva, who got cracked by Jalen Brunson. Straight Swizzy sauce. Above the break.
Okay, all right. I was letting you cook, but then you said Swizzy sauce. That was terrible. You got Baby Flea laughing at you.
No, that was horrible. No, that was horrible. I'm sorry, guys. That was crazy corny.
Fabian has way more swag than that, y'all. Y'all know that. Y'all been watching for years. Fabian has a lot more swag than Swizzy sauce.
Swizzy sauce was bananas. That was
crazy. That was crazy. You're my brother, so I can say it to you. That was crazy.
Nah, I gotta thank you for checking me live, man, because I never do that again, Fabian. Okay. I should have left it at cracked. I was good with that. Straight roller skates for Tristan Da Silva, who nobody ever talked about on planet Earth. But really was Jalen Suggs. He had a horrible shooting night, but he has a bunch of those. And Mikal Bridges made sure that he wasn't have another one. Mikal Bridges played excellent defense last night. He's coming around. He shot really well yesterday as well. What's his numbers looking like? Mikal Bridges had 17 points. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal. But but really it was a 7-11 shooting, the 1 for 3. Should have been 1 for 2, but he had to rush a shot to end the first half. Bridges played incredible defensively. Josh Hart is the normal Josh Hart, another consistent effort and just always showing up in the box score now. He's playing incredible. I had him for 20 points, rebounds, and assists, which I got on DraftKings, by the way, last night. Promo code ABTV. And they were killing. OG, he's showing why I never want him to be a third option. Don't care about you in your offensive game. We need you to show up and harass them on defense the way Jalen Suggs thinks he does. The way Jalen Suggs thinks he does. Jesus Christ,
these are all NBA defenders you're talking about. Slow down. Jalen Suggs is an all NBA defender. That means he's one of the top 10 defenders in the NBA. Slow down.
This is why I said a couple weeks ago when you made a great point, right? Well, if OG has to be up for Defensive Player of the Year, I don't care if you got him top 10, top 5, top 3, whatever it is. Jalen Suggs should never be considered a better defender in OG's class. OG's class.
Do you watch the game or are you just talking right now?
Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Who had the Orlando Magic?
I'm just being funny with you. I know you watch, but come on, Fabian. You're saying Jalen Suggs shouldn't even be in his class?
He's not in his class. He's not in his class. There's OGs in the Wemby. Now you can't say Wemby because the big guys are different. The Anthony Davis, Wembys, Chet Holmgrens, they're in a different class because they can affect, they can rim protect, deflect shots. And it's easy for them. They all gotta do is stretch Armstrong for them. OG has to work for all of that. So that next level below, even Bam Adebayo. Who's a better defender, Bam Adebayo or OG Anunoby?
I mean, Bam is just bigger, so I would go with Bam. Just bigger, so he can just guard more positions, especially bigger guys. But it's not to say OG can't, because we know what OG could do. A literal guy that you throw out there 1 through 5. But yeah, Bam is right up there. If we about to say OG is the best we about to say OG is the best defender in the game. We ready to say that?
No, because
only
because of Anthony Davis' inconsistency.
Okay.
Chet Holmgren being injured, because Chet Holmgren changes that whole lineup, but he does have a lot of help. We have never seen Chet Holmgren on that court without help. We've seen OG without help this year. He's tired. I don't know if any of them can help them, but I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt because they're big men. It's tough for them. But Bam, that's a tough argument because he carries that Miami Heat defense. He's been doing so for years. That one's tough for me because OG does a lot. And he doesn't have, Tibbs and Spoelstra's coaching styles are just different. Tibbs will drop coverage now this year, but pack the paint. The Miami Heat don't want it. They don't want to let you shoot 3-pointers, so they want even their bum ass players to work the 3-point line. The same way with the Magic. That's why we couldn't get any 3-point shots going last night or yesterday because the Magic play up to the 3-point line. Same thing with the Denver Nuggets. I noticed, and they switch a lot. They're aggressive.
Orlando couldn't hit the threat life.
Try to say it again, Flea.
How's my audio? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, now try to say it again. So Orlando couldn't hit a 3 to save their life?
I said Orlando couldn't hit a 3 to save their life last night.
Right. That's what made the game even worse. And when Wagner came in at the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, I think it was, and he showed, but you could tell he was turned up with the Knicks. You could tell last time, but
I like Bam. I love Bam a lot, Fabian. So let me address my guys real quick. Greg Lee, King's Speech, real quick. Bam was the anchor of a team that was in the NBA Finals twice. Right? Bam has been an all-NBA defender. Bam has been on the cusp of being a defensive player of the year. So help me understand how he can be an overrated defender. Help me. I'm asking for help. I'm not refuting what y'all saying. I would just like some clarity on how we can say he's not a top-level defender or not a great defender.
Bam is another guy. He's not gonna get the credit for his defense because it's not flashy. He's again, all the great defenders to me are dirty. He's dirty, OG's dirty, and Suggs is even dirtier. But they're gonna be so dirty for 36 minutes that the refs either gonna have to foul you out or they're gonna say, you know what, that's their play style. We're gonna let him get away with it because he's also complaining to the refs a lot. That last night was not the only time he's ever gone crazy on the referee. But Bam, it's the size, and it's easier for him to do what OG wants to do. A lot of OG's style is sneaky. Bam isn't really sneaky. He's just straight dirty. He'll punch right in the nuts in the middle of a play, and he can get to those passing lanes.
But saying a guy like Cat, one of the best offensively skilled bigs we've ever seen, can cook Bam doesn't say Bam's a bad defender. That's not an indictment on Bam. Cat is a great player, so I would expect Cat to kill Bam, Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon. I would expect him to kill Dikembe Mutombo, Ben Wallace. If Cat is as great as we say, he's kill all of them. I don't think that's an indictment on Bam, but I get what y'all saying.
I think Cat. I would have loved to. I want to see what practice looks like with OG versus Cat, because I think Cat, that's what he has over Bam. Bam can't guard Joker like OG could or Embiid, and that's what it is about OG that I'm saying. Like, damn, like his defense is, if he's healthy, the reason why, to Flea's point, that he's not going to get defensive player of the year consideration is because we're bottom half of the league kind of defense at our best. Even though the last 8 games we've been holding opponents to 102 points per game, it is still a bad matchup for Bam with Cat on him, especially this Cat. This ain't the same Cat, and I'm tired of y'all trying to spin the narrative, Flea. You talk about spinning. What you and two we trying to do? You and AllBall. Jesus Christ.
You see how listening comprehension skills are lacking today?
But see, I think
I never said Bam. I never said Bam was in anybody's class. I said Cat should kill all great defenders.
Yes, but to their point, to King Speech's point, don't put Bam in those guys' league. Ben Wallace, Hakeem. I think OG is closer to them than Bam is, because one-on-one he's just a demon, and then the help defense is crazy. He suffers from what most people suffer from on the offensive end, when like a Jalen Brunson and these guys, we say, yo, he has no help for anybody else to make it easier for him. Like when we seen, like what Durant complained about in OKC, yo, I had nobody else that could put the ball on the floor and could shoot. Now, what am I going to do? I'm the only guy that can do that, and nobody else is spreading the floor for me. Now the court shrinks. Same thing on defense. That court is wide open. And as a defender, that's the worst thing that you want. Damn, you ain't guarding your man either? Like, it's Brunson and Cat guarding nobody. We know they're not guarding anybody, but Hart cannot miss an assignment. Bridges cannot miss an assignment. He did it last night. He hasn't been, to be honest, Bridges has done that for a couple weeks now. But it's still not enough. And OG is really holding the fort, but it's still not enough to put them in the top 10 defensively. So that's why I look at it and I go, and you know what? Let me look up the Heat's defensive rating, because that would say a lot. Miami Heat top 10 in the league. Top 10 in the league. The Knicks are 16th, 2 points behind the Miami Heat. I mean, when we talk about help defense, who's really helping Bam? Jimmy Butler? At this point, he's okay. Terry Rozier and these guys. And again, they do play a different style of team defense. I wonder what OG would look like in Miami instead of Bam. Granted, the scoring is going to be atrocious. Bam has to score for them in order for them to do well. And when he does it, you see how they suffer. But enough of my OG glazing. Mikal Bridges is on fire. He's going bananas. He's on his way to doing what Josh Hart is talking about But he said, when you go to a new team, you need some time to mesh and get it in order, yada, yada, yada. Josh Hart, shut up. Because we saw OG Anunoby do that last year. There was no time. He got here, and all of a sudden, it was a rocket ship. Your man couldn't get the engine started. But it looks like he done changed the oil. Big pause. It looks like he done got the revs going. One thing I did want to point out with Mikal Bridges, and I did say this earlier in the year, I have been saying it. I wasn't too concerned about Mikal Bridges' defense because that comes with effort and just the inspiration. I don't know where that comes from. Flea has explained it the whole season. Mikal Bridges, if he's not playing well offensively, he suffers defensively. Okay, I'll take that for face value. Here's a little proof, though, because what we laud Mikal Bridges for is his run, not with the Brooklyn Nets, but with the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, if you recall, were up 2-0 against the Milwaukee Bucks. 2-0 against the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2021 NBA Finals. Right? Mikal Bridges for those 2 games had 20 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He shot 46% from the field, 38.5% from 3. He hit all his free throws, 5 free throws per game. Key stat for me, 5 free throws per game for Mikal Bridges when the Phoenix Suns went up 2-0 against the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2021 NBA Finals. After that, Phoenix loses 4 straight. Mikal Bridges averages 7.8 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. He shot 62% from the field and 50% from 3. Nice numbers. Obviously, it wasn't enough because he's averaging 8 points versus the 20 that he averaged when they won. But the real key stat for me is he averaged half a free throw per game in the NBA Finals for those last 4 straight games that they ended up losing to the Bucks for the chip. And it's the same thing here in New York. It's the same thing. When he plays noticeably well, it can't just be that you do well, you do good, and we win. No. If he turns up offensively, we run some more plays for him. We're just a different team. You're a real third option. I'm seeing some more of the stuff that I saw in Phoenix. I don't know if Tom Thibodeau was really implementing that. That's why I like to get into the conversation about coaching. It's like, is it because this is Tibbs' style that he's learned throughout his career and he can't ever just sit there and go, I'm going to run the play from the 2017 NBA Finals and see if we can work something out for Mikal Bridges. Like Tibbs, he's just so stubborn, and that personality has gotten him here. But Bridges needs plays ran for him, and if he does he gain confidence? Is that what he's lacking? Because if that's the case, that's a big issue for me too. Why do you need somebody else to give you the confidence? That's what was also remarkable about yesterday's Brunson's 31 points yesterday, because he was sick of Suggs fouling him, and he even complained about getting called for a foul in that last play when OG smacked the ball out of Mo Wagner's hand. And he's like, I'm on the phone with Flea and I'm laughing because I'm like, Bridges sounds like somebody got caught stealing, and the cops got the video, and Brunson was like, nah, that wasn't me though. It's like, right? So Brunson didn't give in to his emotions with Suggs. And Suggs, again, all NBA defender, so they're gonna get more calls. That's why I'm hoping that the Knicks, OG's gonna be an all NBA, all defensive dude. He's not gonna get snubbed, especially if he's healthy. And he plays the 65 games, which that's the only thing stopping him, right? Brunson showed up yesterday in typical Brunson fashion. I put him on a thumbnail because, yo, man, this is the guy that the team has put their banner on, right? They put Brunson's face on their banner. He's the guy leading the Nova Knicks. He's the guy that has to get criticized for all this. We ain't waiting to make no excuses. We don't want to hear nothing. Remember, Bridges was picked in the first round out of the same college as Brunson. Brunson's coach, Jay Wright, told Bob Myers and them, yo, Brunson is good, bro. He's an NBA player. They didn't believe him. They chose Bridges and Dante DiVincenzo over Brunson. But Brunson's a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he's efficient. And those are the guys that usually they just, in any field of anything in life, those are the guys that make it. And yesterday he showed again that chip on his shoulder, Flea. Yo, I don't care what's going on. It's my squad. I know at some point y'all can say Cat's the king of New York and all that, but that's not how we got here. We didn't get Cat to become the king of New York. We got Cat to join me. I'm the guy leading this thing. I'm the king of New York. And he showed you why yesterday.
Listen, big 31 points from Brunson, man. Like the 22 points and the 22 rebounds from Cat was amazing. But just to piggyback and catapult your point, when it's closing time, right? When it's time to put a fork in the team, when we battling the team, we got to put our foot on their neck. You know, we have two guys that can close the deal, but Brunson is the guy. Brunson is the guy that I trust with the ball in his hands down the stretch, making the right plays. He's been doing it for us the last 2 seasons. Why would we not trust him for a third year, for a third season? So Cat absolutely is that I don't want to say a safety valve, but he takes some pressure off of Brunson, right? You can't double JB the way you want to double him anymore, because if you leave Cat will kill you from everywhere on the floor, right? So totally agree with you. Brunson is our guy, is our 1A, but it is lovely to have Karl Anthony Towns right there next to him, playing the way he's playing, right? If this was a different Cat, I think we'd feel differently about this, but Cat is doing everything that I think everybody wants him to do. And I'll speak for myself. I was concerned about, is Cat going to be able to turn it back on with cleaning the glass? He has shut me the hell up. Flea, shut up and watch me work. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. So big shout out to Cat, big shout out to Brunson. It was a good win yesterday.
Yeah, well, they're playing off of each other well. I think the pick and roll, it works.
I wanted to live react, chat. Fabian didn't want to. Me and Fabian watched the game together yesterday. I'm snitching, y'all.
And I'm banning myself from being on live with Too Cool Flea, and I'm gonna leave it at that. That's how I'm gonna put it.
That's how you gonna put it? Okay.
If you being, I don't want the Too Cool. I need Flea and AllBall totally sober and watching the Knicks game. Because if it's a bad game, we saw the classic reaction when Randall had 60 and they blew the game to Minnesota last year or 2 seasons ago. AllBall walked out, slammed his headphones down, almost ruined all the mechanics and the equipment in the studio. Yeah, I'm not saying for y'all to do that. That costs a lot of money, but we need to see the real Nick reaction, not the Too Cool stuff. He's like, yeah, good. Brunson, put your man De Silva on skates, and Flea goes, cool move. What?
That's a fact.
Cool move. Nah.
I did. That was a good move.
Yeah, so you know I'm right. We shall indulge.
Did you hear me argue? Not arguing.
Yeah, of course you did. I'm not listening. I'm leaving it there. You argue. I have to re-explain myself, and I'm doing it again on the live. You try to snitch on me and thought you wouldn't get a live reaction like that.
I did.
And I'm still censoring myself. Do you know that the more Sims plays, the better he gets? Same way we have issues with defense. We have Pacome, who's getting better. Also, Psycho Tycho defensively is gradually growing defensively as well. Gregory Lee, I disagree. I think Sims finally showed something. This year, he played better than he ever played before. And all that rim protection stuff that Thibodeau was talking about, how come he's not playing him anymore?
Stefan Bondi. Big shout out to Stefan Bondi.
Oh, no, come on. Don't ruin this. Don't ruin this.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait a minute. No, don't, because I wish I had that DMX intro loaded up, man.
Yeah. That would be perfect. Yeah, that would be perfect.
What?
That'd have been perfect. That'd be
Why?
that
Hold
would've-
on, Flea. Why must you be hard headed? Listen, man.
top
1
10 of
2
all
1 2
time.
come through.
Top 10 of all time.
Intros.
Rapper. Come talk to me later.
That's so like.
We could talk later. We can talk later.
Yeah, we can.
We can talk later. We can talk later if you want. Because ain't no X slander happening on my watch. Go ahead.
Please, X isn't everybody's like most favorite rapper.
I ain't say
please,
Go ahead.
please, dream has come true.
Bro.
The teams are showing interest in Jericho Sims, as per Steve Bondy. Jericho Sims, who according to sources has garnered some interest in the trade market, has seen his playing time decrease amid a quick Thibodeau hook. Sims will be a unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. Hey guys, for all you Sims fans, he's good as gone. You're not letting him walk.
The front office paid Stephon Bondy a nice bonus to lie just now. We want Jericho Sims to garner interest. He's not garnering interest right now. Like, come, let's be serious, y'all. Let's be serious. Garnering interest from who? Because there's always teams attached. Who is he garnering interest from, Stephon Bondy? Help us. What basketball team, what professional basketball team in the National Basketball Association is looking for Jericho Sims' services? Who?
I don't know.
Exactly. Help me. Help me.
I don't know.
And I know our guy Greg Lee. Big shout out to Greg Lee. Greg Lee loves Jericho Sims. He's been hard on me about how hard I am on Sims. And I'm watching Sims, and he is getting better, Greg Lee. He is getting better. But what other 29 teams in the NBA is looking to add Jericho Sims to their rotation right now?
East Blue Drew answered you. Nobody. He says, send his ass to Shanghai.
To Djibouti you go.
Go join Patrick Beverly, who's trying to come back to the Americas, by the way.
Is doing everything in his power to speak his way back into the Americas. He's doing every podcast episode he can to make sure people hear that he's trying to get back into America.
Now, I do have to ask this. Jericho Sims, if we could get something out of him, he's an unrestricted free agent. That's value in that too, by the way. There's value in a contract being expiring at the end of the year. Not sure. I mean, that would be interesting to look to the Robert Williams III, because DeAndre Ayton is too expensive. But a Robert Williams III, what do you think about that, Flea? Sims for Robert Williams III.
Sign me up. Sign me up. FedEx Robert Williams to us immediately. Sign me up. Sign me up. If Portland is willing to do that, because I don't know if y'all seen Chauncey's face in a while. We talking about JJ's face. If you haven't seen Chauncey Billups' face in a while he's coaching, it's the greatest thing ever. We love Chauncey, but Lord have mercy, they are challenging Chauncey in the Pacific Northwest right now. Extreme challenge. They said, why didn't you play DeAndre Ayton? What did he say? He didn't look good, or he didn't have it? What did he say, Fabian? He said something like, I didn't like his energy, or I didn't like the vibe, something like that. Chauncey has had enough. And if that's the case, Chauncey, send Time Lord right on over to Madison Square Garden. I will take him in a heartbeat.
I didn't hear Chauncey Billups talk about that. I don't know how I feel about his Portland situation, but I think that's the only way I can judge these coaches especially with bad teams. Like, shout out to Andy Roth. He's the head of the bandwagon for Jordy Fernandez Coach of the Year. And again, another accomplishment, trophy that goes towards what Flea always says: unless you're the best team in the league, and they don't give you those kind of awards, and it's sad because, like I said, I don't need Jalen Suggs to be in the Magic surrounded by dogs to tell me that he's one of the great defenders in the NBA. OG doesn't have any great defenders around him right now. Great on his level, and I can see he plays defense. I can watch, and with Jordy Fernandez, that effort the Nets are giving, that is they're in every game because of him. I know they just traded Schroeder to Golden State. We could touch on that in a second, but it's amazing what they're doing. They're going to be on a fire sale soon, though. I can see them trading everybody over there on Brooklyn, but I digress. Chauncey Billups with Portland, I don't know if they've been given the same effort as the Brooklyn Nets. I can't even tell you what the difference is. Like, what does each coach do? How do they communicate? Does Jordy know the game better than Chauncey Billups? I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? I doubt it. I don't even know. We know Chauncey's background. I know he played for Colorado. Like, I know that. I know he's been on a bunch of teams, winning chips with the chip with the Pistons, been to a couple of finals. And with him saying that about DeAndre Ayton, it doesn't, help in the trade value either. Like, he has to be careful with all that. It's political at that point. And again, I don't know. Maybe the whole organization is saying that. But we have seen him big up Robert Williams III. The way Robert Williams fights to play has to be lauded, commended, because it was why I try to mention Derrick Rose as much as possible when I talk about toughness. And when Flea goes, what is tough? What does tough mean? People have a boxing match on a half court? No. I'm talking about mentally tough. Derrick Rose is mentally tough to go through all those injuries, still find a way to work out and get in the game. Robert Williams III seems to be doing that. Kawhi, he catches a lot of flack, and more so because he's getting a superstar cake and eating it too, while not really, earning his seat, because you're getting paid a lot of money for someone who doesn't show up half the time. And Robert Williams III, it's almost like, he's not getting the money. He's not getting the franchise treatment. He didn't get another player traded to the team and revamp the team, and he's not making these LeBron moves. So with that being said, I don't think anyone can doubt Kawhi's effort to get on the court, Derrick Rose's effort to get on the court, and Robert Williams III effort to get on the court. And when he gets on the court, he's impactful. For him to be on there on the Knicks would be special. Let me look at his contract real quick, because I don't think he's the same as Jericho Sims anywhere near. There's no way it's the same as Jericho Sims. He got to be getting paid more. Robert Williams III contract looks like 9 years. Yeah, he'll be making 10, 11, 12. So this year he makes 12. Next year he makes 13. So they would have to trade two guys to get Robert Williams III. But that's the guy. I mean, with him and Mitchell Robinson and Cat, they're gonna give me a heart attack out there as far as the front court and waiting for the greatness to line up. And we don't want to be Philadelphia, who seems cursed. They just seem cursed. I mean, the kid McCain, God bless that kid, but he tore his ACL, his meniscus the other day. And just think about what the Sixers have gone through with Embiid, Ben Simmons just imploding, Markelle Fultz just, these are top picks. Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Fultz, and they just, for whatever reason, Paul George went over there. Another guy who's all NBA caliber guy. Tyrese Maxey, he missed some time this year, and they can't get any time together on the court. And I don't want that to be the Knicks if you get Robert Williams III and Mitchell Robinson and Cat out there. It's like, damn, everything depends on health, and it's tough. It's tough. Y'all crazy. Robert Williams 6'9". We got Precious Achiuwa already, right? But then who fills in for Precious Achiuwa? And you can't tell me healthy that Achiuwa was on the same level as Robert Williams III. That's not close. That's not close. Like Baron Davis said, start a GoFundMe for me because I kick Trey and them dice. I'm not gonna lie, man. Baron Davis gotta leave the chuckle and monkey act alone, bro. You looking like Andrew Schultz buddy over there, bro. Like, you don't agree with nothing that Draymond says? Everything is like, yeah, you know, yeah, Dre. Yeah, Dre. I know you big West Coast. You got all your connections in the world over there. All right, cool, Baron. But enough is enough, bro. You didn't kick nobody's dice on the court. Come on, man. You just stopped people from coming to LA. You got your people to not go to LA. Cool, B Diddy. Cool. You got the tough guys on your side. Cool. Thanks for reminding me, though. You know what? Before I get to that, you know we got to pay our sponsors, damn it. What? I messed up that segue. How dare I? What's my guy? Like Baron Davis said, start a GoFundMe for me because I kicked them dice. I kicked Trey and them dice. He wouldn't have kicked Trey up. That's all I'm saying. He wouldn't have kicked them. I know somebody else made a similar comment like that. But either way, all these guys, what they be doing, they all claim to be tough guys all of a sudden when they're not in New York anymore. They all claim they'd roll the dice and take a chance. You don't have to be tough to take a chance. You can roll the dice on DraftKings, y'all. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday, playing for the right to advance in a single elimination in-season tournament, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. That's tomorrow night. It's ending. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Milwaukee Bucks are in there for the championship in Vegas. AllBall is out there, by the way, losing his damn mind. By the way, if this is your first time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code ABTV. That's code ABTV for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Camp Resort. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. And we back back in the mix, y'all. Back in the mix, y'all. Thanks for reminding me, though. I think that was East Blue Drew. Everybody has something to say. Trey Young rolling the dice. They want to go kick him and clothesline him. Oh, okay. All of a sudden, you're tough. All of a sudden, all you guys are tough guys off the court. Oh, I love it. Trey Young was here for years, being a villain in New York. And nobody really kicked his dice or his bald head. And here goes Isaiah Hartenstein, the former Knick, with that stupid look on his face. Let's see how he reacted to Trey Young rolling the dice at Madison Square Garden.
You know, still, if you guys end up to play Trey Young in the finals, you know, Knicks fans are going to expect that extra juice from you.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have that extra incentive if that happens?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have let him roll the dice on the midcourt if I was there, for sure not. But I would have done something. But yeah, I mean, I always got love for New York, so but I'm excited to play any team that we play against. But
he said he wouldn't have let Trey Young roll the dice on him. And of course, Twitter followers, they read my mind, doubled down, and laid the smack it down on Isaiah Hartenstein. Because does he forget that we have video? Does he forget that we can just go back and see, hey, when it was time for you to be tough, what did you do? Like in this incident, when Joel Embiid kicked you right in the family jewels. What did you do? What did you do? Trey Young rolled dice. Embiid kicked you in yours. What did you do, Isaiah Hartenstein? This is way more personal than that stupid dice roll. Embiid, what I love about Embiid is that he's a villain. He does stuff like this and plays the villain, acts like the villain. We know he's not really a tough guy, but nobody has showed him anything to prove himself otherwise. And you had an opportunity and a justified opportunity to go at him. On top of that, Embiid was kicking your ass. You got 5 fouls in the third quarter of game 4. I'll never forget it. That's when Precious and OG came in there and locked his ass up. Locked his ass up like 2 80s beat cops. Bing, bong. Get out of here, Isaiah Hartenstein. Get the hell out of here. But I will say this. Isaiah Hartenstein is speaking to the lack of toughness that the Knicks have since they lost him and Julius Randle. These are guys that are Tibbs players. I've been echoing that since the trade, since we lost IHart. No, it's not our fault that Isaiah Hartenstein walked. We could not match his deal. I get it. But it's not just toughness on defense. I don't think our offense is really all that. I see the numbers. I see everybody other record breaking. Yeah, it's cool. They can go on fire. I get it. But I don't really see any picks being set. Isaiah Hartenstein is a great pick setter. That's what Jericho Sims actually does. Might be his best attribute is setting picks. It might be setting picks. And Cat's picks are catty. Very soft, like, yeah. The Magic, I did want to ask this. I did want to ask this to you guys. We got to keep it a buck, man. Who do you think is better healthy? Especially after watching that game. The New York Knicks or the Orlando Magic? I've been saying this since last year. The Magic, they were tough. They were a tough team, a tough matchup for Boston last season because they're 6'10" or better. Besides Jalen Suggs, everybody's what's KCP 6'6", 6'7"? Not gonna stop, King's Speech. Not gonna stop. Can't stop. I would say won't stop, but there's a guy that said that, and he is currently in jail stopped. So I'm not gonna do that. The Knicks are 16-10. The Orlando Magic are 17-11. Orlando is 6-4 in their last 10. The Knicks are 7-3. We're over here hoping for Mitchell Robinson. The Magic are missing both of their top best players. Their two best players who might be considered both All-NBA this year. Both might be All-Stars if they were healthy. That's who they're missing. Bona fide top-tier players in the league. Wagner was carrying them without Banchero. And we ain't see Paolo in 2 months. I said it before the season. I had the Knicks third in the Eastern Conference, and I had the Orlando Magic number 2. They're not going to finish second because Cleveland surprised the hell out of me, surprised the hell out of everybody. But I just can't see a team like this, the Orlando Magic. Shout out to Sean with a W. From Knicks Film School. He did say the Orlando Magic remind him of what the New York Knicks been for the last 5 years. And I totally disagree with that. Because, yeah, they remind you of us from the last 5 years defensively, but they're not. The Knicks didn't have 2 All-NBA guys like this. Julius Randle played like that, but he's not Banchero. He's not Banchero. Like Brunson is, he didn't get to see this team full strength this season. Last year, Brunson did play well against the Orlando Magic. But this team is different, adding KCP. And then on top of that, you do have another years of experience. You made the playoffs. You want to see what you do after that. They have to figure it out offensively. Orlando can't shoot the side of a barn. I don't know. I favor teams that play lockdown defense and figure it out on offense, because they have a clunky offense, but they got a guy that can go to, and Banchero at the end. He hits free. No, he shoots the three pretty good for someone who can't hit free throws like that. So, and he gets the foul call. We don't really have anybody that's down the stretch is going to get foul calls from the ref. And in a close game, defensive game, a playoff game against the Orlando Magic, we had a close game against them, this past game, last night. What y'all think is going to happen in the playoffs? Come on, man. Come on. Orlando's a poor man's us. I respect the hustle. I respect the coaching, but they're not in our class. Listen. I don't know what y'all talking about. You have not seen the Orlando Magic play the Boston Celtics the last couple of years, man. These guys, they're all Franz Wagner gives Tatum problems. And I'm not saying he locks him up, but you're talking about guys that are 6'10 that move. And Franz gets to the basket. I don't know how. Every time he gets to the basket, I'm shocked. Like, how did nobody ripped him? This is different, man. Why do everybody get the injury excuses but us? What injury excuse? What's the excuse? They were competitive yesterday without their guys. I'm saying with Mitch, we don't even know if Cat and Mitch fit. We know that the Magic fit together defensively. They took them Cavaliers 7 games, even though the Cavaliers last season, they had an amazing January, by the way, which nobody talks about because the Knicks overshadowed them. They weren't even healthy. Then they get to the playoffs. They still look like the old Donovan Mitchell-led teams. But for me, what the Orlando Magic have shown is that defensive identity that they doubled down on with KCP, man. Boston does not want to see them in a 7-game series. I don't care what y'all say. King's Speech. This is a different Cavaliers group. Mitchell Robinson has to be healthy in order to sun the Cavaliers. If he's not, it might be at best it'll go 6 games. Evan Mobley is perhaps their best player. Donovan Mitchell's getting all the limelight, and great job by Atkinson telling Mitchell to dial it back and this, that, and the third. But really, you have to dial it back because you have 4 first-round draft picks on that starting lineup. If you go crazy and hog the ball, it's gonna disrupt a balance that Atkinson is looking for, which he had with the Brooklyn Nets when he was coaching there fabulously. King's Speech, I trust you, my brother. I don't think we win a 7-game series against a healthy Orlando. SF Wisdom, I don't know what they don't see. We're gonna have to get a defender. You're gonna have to. We lost a lot of toughness over the summer. It's gonna show against the Celtics. It's gonna show against the Orlando Magic, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Milwaukee might go 7 games because Giannis is winning you 1 or 2 games alone. I don't trust Dame. But if the kid that was his name Aaron Jackson, I keep messing up his name. The 2 guard that they started ever since they benched whoever that was. They got a bunch of bums over there in Milwaukee, by the way. But Giannis is big time. He's a legit MVP contender the last 5 or 6 years. Just amazing. Y'all got to tell me how Banchero makes up the deficit for the NBA Cup game. You mean Banchero and Franz Wagner? They're missing 2 guys. We're not talking about one defensive caliber guy in Mitchell Robinson. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 2 major options on the offensive end. Wagner is a better defender than Banchero. So now you're missing another defender on defense. I don't know. Hey, Brooklyn Knicks fan, calm down, bro. Who's calling for trades against the salary cap? We went over that already. Robert Williams makes more money. They're gonna have to trade more for him. You just wanted some attention. There you go, Brooklyn Knicks fan. Calm down, bro. No way Wagner played. No, he didn't. Franz Wagner did not play yesterday. You talking about a game from 2 weeks ago. I'm talking about last night. Mo Wagner played. Brooklyn Knicks fan, I'm sorry. Mo Wagner played last night, had a hell of a game. Mo Wagner had a career high against us. He loves playing against us. King's Speech, let's get it together. Orlando plays a way that you can't teach. You just can't. And they got the big dogs. If Jonathan Isaac stays healthy, listen, I don't know what we see. This ain't the same Knicks team from last season. I thought they were a championship team following January if they were healthy. I didn't think Orlando was, but I thought they were a matchup problem for Boston. And now they're a matchup problem for anybody at any given time. I'm talking when we sunk them by 40. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Cool. Franz played. Had like 30 points. Smoked them. Smoked them. But now you can't compare Mitchell Robinson to Paolo Banchero, bro. Can't do that. They're disgusting at shooting threes, New York Yankee. That's their biggest problem. They're gonna have to make a trade for a scorer also and make the game easier for because Wagner, we already stereotyped him as potentially a good shooter because he's white. That's the only reason why. Because why else are we thinking that Wagner could shoot? He's German. They made great things historically. The Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Franz Wagner. I don't know if it works like that. Darlene, the queen. How are you, my darling, darling? I see everyone asking for Isaiah Stewart like we can't afford him. Chill. Brooklyn Knicks fan, we need you in the building more often to explain to us this damn salary cap. I don't know if anybody can explain it. It sounds like a scam. So they get some of their offense back. We get most of our defensive backbone with Mitch and Banchero. Okay, but we have yet to see the Knicks with Cat and Mitchell Robinson. We have yet to see that. Not to say it won't get better, but and Paolo and Franz, to your point, they have to come back from the injury and prove that they're okay. But that's unfortunate to miss that much time during the season because you don't want to miss that much time and you have that much momentum as two young guys, two young bulls in the NBA. The Orlando Magic are set up for greatness, man. They're set up for greatness is all I'm saying, King's Speech. That's all I'm saying, man. Is anybody noticing multiple players have had career nights against us? SF Wisdom. We speak about this on a daily basis. Yes. Add Mo Wagner to the list. And he wasn't even in the Garden. Orlando's our sons. Okay. If you say so. Listen, man. Y'all know what this is, man. Stop playing.
Knicks Rehab.
And of course, and you know we had Big Flea in the building.
Big Flea, never the little one.
And one time for the guy himself.
Ball suckers.
He ain't playing with y'all. We ain't playing with y'all, man. AllBall TV. Fabian, you got a lot of love. You gotta love their delusional fandom. Hey, man, I love everybody. You gotta understand, man. Thank you, Nostalgic. Gotta understand, man. That's what makes basketball go around. You know what? I did want to ask everybody that. Why the hell do we think that the NBA ratings are going down? Because it can't just be that because everyone tries to act like they know the answer to the question. I don't know the answer to the question, man. I don't know the answer to the question. Hold on, I did put the poll up. Why is the league suffering? Because I'll tell you this much. It reminds me of when why do you say that, Josh? Horrible product, too many threes. Teams are all copycats. King Speech, I'm glad you're in the building. Fisher's in the building. I don't want to say Darlene and Latudio would even know this because I would never want to aid you guys. I would never do that. But in the late 90s, there was a big scare when Michael Jordan left. And part of the reason why it is thought that he was suspended for gambling is because there's no way you could get rid of Michael Jordan, right? And James Summer was going on. And when he came back and retired again, the Lakers three-peated, Kobe and Shaq, this, that, and the third. What nobody's going to tell you in revisionist history is that the NBA Finals ratings were trash with Kobe and Shaq. Kobe and Shaq. They thought it was boring. They thought it was boring. It wasn't Mike. It was the Bulls on their Beatles run. Showtime Lakers was over. You know, the NBA had a villain with the Pistons. Who were the villains in the 90s? The Knicks, right? Utah, somewhat. They had some villains. We had Jordan as the hero and everybody. Some other teams was a good guy. And then once he left, it was like there was no identity with the masses. And the ratings thing was bad back then. That's part of the reason why they brought the zone defense to get rid of Shaq. They were also trash matchups too, the Kobe Shaq finals. They were, but the ratings were bad just overall in general, if I'm not mistaken, throughout the Western Conference games too. I think there's a bunch of us who watch the game no matter what. We love the game. But then there's these casual fans that the NBA lose that I don't know where they go. And I love what you said, Latudio. Let me see. They put out a bad product, but games all over the place. NBA used to be on TNT and ABC. That's a major factor. Because the one thing I will say is this. A lot of people are trying to say that it's because of the streaming and the illegal streaming sites. I'm not going to say their name. You ain't going to get me. But it can't be that. I just rewatched Game of Thrones, which I had to apologize to AllBall for because he said from start to finish Game of Thrones is big fire. And I said, they ruined it. But I watched it again. Game of Thrones is big fire. And Game of Thrones was the biggest show at the time, by far, wasn't close. Live watching, people watching the downloads, going to HBO Max, whatever it was back then on demand. And also, they had the highest illegal streams. They were one of the most illegally streamed videos ever at the time. Some crazy shit like that. So it can't be the illegal streaming. When you're in high demand, illegal streams and bootlegs, that all comes with it. Bootlegging has always been part of the game. It's always been part of the product. So to Latudio's point, is it all over the place? Are we confused to see where we get it from? Because the NFL makes it a point Sundays is an appointment date. Yeah, you have Thursday nights, you got your Monday night, but Sundays is like people skip church and go watch football. The reverend, whoever you go to church, they might end the service early. He might call out sick. Yeah. Nah, man, Rams are playing. And it'll be a bum ass team. You're like, nah, man, the Giants are playing. Like, what? You skipped out on Jesus for God, Pastor? What's wrong with you? But that's how sick we are with the NFL, and we know where to get it from. To Latudio's point, but I'm just not really too sure. The only thing I could think of is that even with the foreign players coming in, the NBA with the young guys, they're not doing a good job of marketing the players like Hollywood guys anymore. Like these guys were Hollywood stars, but they want to blame social media. But LeBron James and these dudes and Kevin Durant, they're always crying. And I always will say this: I don't remember a time when so many fan bases didn't care for their star players. Like Golden State, yeah, they have Steph Curry, but then you lost Clay and you're stuck with Draymond, who I don't know any Warriors fan that's like loves Draymond. Right? And then you have the Clippers who just lost Paul George and they could care less. They're almost happy he's gone. Shout out to Dime Dropper. He'll be happy when Kawhi's gone. Right? The New York Knicks, for a long time, we had Randall. We weren't totally in love with him. The fan base was split, trying to root for him. Yeah, come on, Randall. Me? I ain't want him on my team till last year when he proved himself. Right? And look at the Philadelphia 76ers. Cursed. I forgot who put it like that earlier. Cursed. You can't really root for Joel Embiid. You can't really root for Paul George. He's over there too. Horrible. And their star players are injured. So I can't just pinpoint it to horrible play because Michael Jordan was there in the late 90s. And then the next year after that, the ratings went kaputs. Because the Brad Pitt, the Will Smith of the NBA is gone. And the economy's gone with them. Is it Steph getting older, LeBron getting older, and these are the guys that were promoted to us as legit superstars, even from college, from high school? These look at the rookie class. I watch some of these guys. Ricochet from Atlanta, I like him. Alex Shaw, I like him. We got Dadier over here with the Knicks, but they don't promote these guys. Even with Luka Doncic, what the hell do we know about Luka Doncic besides like fat shaming him? We just say like, yo, he's fat today. He showed up fat again this year. That's what we talk about. He's a crybaby. We know nothing about him. I think he got a baby mama. I don't know. Joker, what do we? He likes horses, but that ain't intriguing. And then look at John Morant. He went from lauded. He went from this superstar guy. Clearly, it's self-inflicted, and the NBA feels like they can't trust him anymore. But you also told the fans, yo, we're done with him. And you kind of can't do that when he's been part of that team and that organization with Memphis, who, if they are healthy, they are big time dangerous. Big dangerous. Another star that you're not promoting, and you're choosing to Artudio's point, break up and basically lease the ad revenue from all these different digital apps like Amazon and TNT, which is really HBO and I think Discovery Plus. Then you have NBC, who's really Comcast, and maybe the Peacock network. I'm not pausing that, Flea. But if your ratings are down, what did you really get from these channels? They really gave you money for advertising space that you really couldn't get on your own app. How do you promote the brand? Part of promoting the brand is, where do we see last year's games? Because it's bad enough to your point. Not only can we not get the games that are on tonight, how come we're not going back to replay the games from last year, making that an event? Why don't I know the 10 best games of 2023? I think the NBA does a horrible job of marketing its players because they've relied on Nike, McDonald's, and all these other people to promote it for them. And they've almost forgotten how to do that and make their players appear to be the next great thing. Even when I was annoyed by that, it's still your job as like a record label to put the money behind them somehow. You got to put them on Front Street somehow. You got to somehow put these guys on ESPN, TNT, have their own segments. Why are they this great? Show their 10 best games over and over again. All the marketing dollars you put, you're relying on Draymond Green just going viral, smacking somebody. And that's not going to work anymore because now people could just watch it on Twitter for free. And that's another thing. You see everything on YouTube. Why am I going to watch the game when it's going to be on YouTube in like a half hour? And I could watch all the highlights. So there's a combination of reasons why the NBA makes way too much money to not know why. NFL makes 16, 17 billion a year, if I'm not mistaken, and the NBA makes half of that, maybe close to 10 billion. Juan Soto just signed for almost $800 million. It's not because people think the players make too much money. I disagree with that as well, because baseball, I wouldn't think is considered on the same level as basketball, and these players haven't even touched that kind of money yet. Right? Like this 82 games of basketball, LeBron James gets way more coverage everywhere than Juan Soto is going to ever imagine. Derek Jeter, you can name every baseball star. They ain't touching LeBron James as far as coverage goes for his career. It's not happening. So how are you losing this grasp on the exclusiveness of the NBA? They're going to have to rethink their positions, man. They might have to talk to Nike or some of these guys. Might have to talk to Apple. Go to the hardware, not the software. Huh? I ain't pausing that. I'll read some of your comments before I go because I was ranting, baby. Games all over the place. Oh, damn, there's a lot of comments. Because NBA is garbage. Yo, Salvatore, shout out to you, man. I seen you. Is that you on Twitter that Josh Hart retweeted and everybody went crazy? He's like, thanks, Sal. It was because of you. We're going to play defense now. Whatever he said. That was stupid. Not you, Josh. I like Josh Hart because he interacts with the fans. Damn you, Flea. You in the comments? I'm cooking. Because my other cooks and chefs, they ain't in the kitchen with me, man. I'm by myself. Help me. Help me, please. Nah. I did want to ask, leading into tomorrow, who do you think is the most irreplaceable New York Knick in the business? I'll save my answer for tomorrow, man. We ain't playing with you. Major League Baseball ratings were up because of the Yankees and Dodgers. George versus Ohtani marketing. Donnie Castro with a great point. Japan had a hell of a hand in that championship. Remember, Ohtani was up for that gambling scandal. I barely watch baseball. Like, really barely. That's not the King's speech. Wink, wink. But I know Ohtani was up for that gambling thing. They're trying to cover it up big time. Gambling is crazy in Asia. No way possible. I don't know. Maybe it's possible that Ohtani got caught up, but that's similar to Michael Jordan, right? We might suspend you, Ohtani, but they weren't gonna let that happen. He had to go to LA and show out because that's a big time team. Great point, Donnie. Daniel. They watered down the game for them slow ass European players. I still think there's something to. There's people in this country who don't care for them European players. They don't care for it. But it's also, it can't just be that, because how does UFC market their guys? Like, I know people, when I'm at work, people are pronouncing names I know they would never do. Or they give them like a short name, whatever it is. What was the dude that knocked out Conor McGregor last? I forgot his name, but he was an animal. And UFC does a good job with Joe Rogan. They use Joe Rogan as a tool too. Now, I'm not calling him a tool, but he's the biggest podcast out there. They got the biggest podcast out there is promoting UFC. UFC has a deal with ESPN, right? UFC and WWF are part of the same company. These are highly marketed organizations. The same company that bought UFC and the WWF, Endeavor, they have a lot of their clients on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith used to be that because Endeavor used to be WME. But I digress. If real defense comes back, the Europeans are cooked. Yeah, but real defense wasn't here with Golden State was winning either. I really don't think it's that. I think it has more to do with just look how they promoted Steph Curry. Steph Curry was not supposed to be on LeBron's level popularity-wise. He just wasn't. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like all the kids wanted to beat him. Granted, there was quality behind all that promotion. Bring real defense back. These teams will be forced to play distinct styles. I think I think Memphis plays different than Boston. I think Boston plays different than Orlando. I think Phoenix. Yeah, it's too many teams that play alike. Like Phoenix, Boston. I was trying King's Speech. Phoenix, Boston, the Knicks. I wouldn't say Golden State. They just changed their style this year. Sacramento, they all play the similar style. But wouldn't you say the same thing about teams in the 80s and 90s? And nobody wants to say this. You needed a big man. How many big man plays did you have in the 80s and 90s? Come on. This is the part that you guys don't want to hear. It was 28, 30 teams back then. Everybody had a big man. Everybody had 3 to 6 big men on a team. How many plays can you possibly run for them? And if you didn't have the right point guard, you didn't have the right shooting guard that didn't want the ball often enough, it didn't hog the ball, what were you going to have? Mutombo, Eaton, Alonzo Mourning, so they ran just separate plays. They were doing these amazing offensive schemes. Hell no. I disagree. I think it has to do with stardom, and the NBA does not know how to promote their players. I'm with Giles. I remember when you couldn't score in the fourth quarter in MSG. Let's do it again. Make the Garden great again. Otani loves his what? Yo, Salvador, I'm gonna leave you alone, man. You dangerous. Some Europeans will still get cooked. Americans are getting cooked. Very few, King's Speech. 4-on-1 fast break. Take a step back, 3 from the corner. F out of here. Yeah. The transition game is big time, King's Speech. Somebody just said that. Gilbert Arenas. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas. He said, yo, what happened to going transition to somebody throwing a windmill dunk? Like a real windmill. If Zion wasn't too busy trying to look like Peter Griffin, he would have a bunch of them windmill highlights. Jesus Christ. Luka and Joker would be fine for starters. Yeah. No, I'm talking 90s ball. Not this mess. Not this mess. Easier to strive to be a 6'2 guard that can shoot as opposed to a 6'9, 275 freak of nature. All copying Golden State without Steph. I blame Steph for the state of the NBA. Yeah. Yeah. Get messy, La Turia. No, plenty. There were 3 running gun teams. Yes. Okay, you had 3 running gun teams, and everybody else had to try to get a big man. They all had a fake Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you didn't have Kareem in the 80s, who did you have? The Pistons went to 3 finals. The Sixers didn't win until they got Moses. They were super athletic. But the Bulls, again, different team, but they were perimeter players. But they all were – the entire 90s copied the Pistons. Do we forget this? Portland, the Knicks, the Pacers. Come on, man. It's been copycat. It's not that. So riddle me this. What happened after Jordan left? Why did the ratings drop when Jordan leave? Though the style of play, it was the same. It was the same as when Jordan was there. Jordan there, high ratings. Jordan's gone, low ratings. And you had Kobe, Allen Iverson, all these dudes. If you guys are slick, you'll use my own words against me and say, well, Penny and Grant Hill were the next leaders of the NBA for the next 10 years. 90%. Dwight and Joker dominated the era of no bigs. So are we more impressed with Joker's run or Dwight Howard's run? I gotta say Joker. Because Dwight is Joker has a boring game, right? For the average person, but for us, it's damn, that's so crazy. In the 90s, there were no No and one. When you were fouled, you ain't getting the bucket. Cool. There are very few big men battles in 2025. The games are gritty then. There were real team rivalries. Nobody was building super teams. La Turia, that's a lie. The Chicago Bulls, super team. The Knicks try to answer them and got Larry Johnson. Back in the day, you had big man battles almost every night. That's my point. You're making my point, King Speech. Jack Sigma, Mikal, Sampson. Yeah. You're making my point, bro. You're making my point. Now you have point guard battles and hezzy battles, which we'd rather watch the big monsters go at it. Yes, I agree with that. But I think it has more to do with the marketing of these hezzy guys. And it's harder to market them because they don't look different. Where Jordan was, their ratings are right with the NFL. Yeah, absolutely. Big star. Jordan was larger than life. How many stars are larger than life right now? In any genre, music, movies. Yo, what movie star feels like the 90s movie stars? There's no Will Smith today. Denzel is 80. He looks crazy with his fake teeth. Fake gladiator. And he's a gladiator. Unless you know he was a real gladiator. And they had a black man out there. It's not fair to compare a man whose shoe is still selling today. He's been retired for how many years? That's my point, though. And when he left the league, it's the same game. So why did people stop watching? That's what I'm asking. La Turia. Bulls were not a super team. They were a team who played super. King's Speech, we're not doing this. You guys keep trying this with me, and it's a lie. The Boston Celtics in the 80s, super team. Well, okay. They traded for Rodman, and that was it. If you call the Miami Heat a super team because they traded for Bosh and LeBron and Battier and all these guys, I'm going to concede because that's your definition. But the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1960s are the first documented team to be considered or called a super team with Wilt, Jerry West, and Elgin Baylor. That is correct. You heard right. I didn't make this up. Do I like to pander? Yeah, sometimes. But sometimes I tell the truth, King's Speech. I got to get going. It's 7:30. I smell oil sizzling in the kitchen. I'm out of here, y'all. You ain't stopping me from eating. Y'all know what this is. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.